Hello everyone, and welcome. Welcome to my journey with Chain of Gold. If you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Hannah, I love reading books, and this video is a reading vlog slash review for Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, aka my most anticipated book of the century. But Chain of Gold, I'm gonna read her, we're gonna talk about her, and I'm going to profusely apologize in advance for the length of this video. I know how incredibly long it is, I know it's ridiculous, but I had a lot of thoughts, a lot of emotions, and it just felt wrong to cut a lot of it out. Plus, you guys always tell me that you want me to make really long videos, and the raw footage for this was 4 hours and 30 minutes long, and people still told me to keep the entire thing. So you're getting an hour-long video. I hope that's enough for you. I hope it's not too much. I'm sorry if it is. I promise all my videos won't be this long. I'm filming this after having already read the book, so you're getting post Chain of Gold Hannah, who is a very different person than pre-Chain of Gold Hannah. Chain of Gold is the sequel series to The Infernal Devices, which is the prequel to the original Mortal Instruments series. I know how complicated and confusing that sounds, so if you want to know the order in which to read these books, I'm going to leave you a link in the description box below that gives you the publication order of all of the books, which is the way that I recommend that you read them if you're interested in reading them. And I know a lot of people are going to ask if you have to read all the books before you read this. The answer is technically no, but my answer is yes, but at the very least, you've got to read The Infernal Devices before you read this book, because it's going to spoil everything from that series for you. So unless you have no interest in reading any of the other Shadowhunter books, then you can definitely read Chain of Gold first. But if you do plan to read any of those books, don't read this book first. Especially don't read this before The Infernal Devices. Read those three first, then read this, and you'll be golden. But as most of you know, I've loved this series for so long. It's held such a special place in my heart. It's been so important to me. I grew up reading these, and to have the continuation of like my favorite trilogy ever finally in my hands is incredibly exciting, and I'm just so grateful that it's finally out. The day that I received this advanced copy in the mail, I was unbelievably excited, and I filmed a quick clip of myself right when I got it. I just checked the mail and I got a package that I literally feel like I've been waiting for since high school, since I first found out that this book was even gonna come out. I just can't believe I'm literally holding this in my hands right now. I don't think I've ever been this excited to receive a book in my life. I have it. I have it right here. I'm literally so excited. I've truly been waiting for this book since I was in like my sophomore year of high school, and here I am at 23 and the book is finally here and it's in my hands, and oh my god, it's so beautiful and I'm so excited to read it. Our main character, Cordelia Carstairs, is I think half Persian. I don't know if she's fully Persian or half Persian, I can't remember, but she's Persian. I'm Persian. The fact that I'm finally reading a book where a character, one of the main characters, the main character, is actually Persian, and it's part of my favorite series, like one of my favorite series, franchise, whatever, like of all time. And I've been reading this ever since I was a kid, like, and I'm finally getting to see that part of myself represented in something, and especially something that means this much to me. Like, I'm literally gonna cry. Oh, okay. Thank you so much to Simon Teen for sending this to me. This is not sponsored. They just sent it to me, and I'm very, very grateful. So yeah, I can't wait. So yeah, obviously extremely excited to read this, and also very excited to film a reading vlog just documenting my entire experience of all of the emotions that I went through reading Chain of Gold. I also do want to mention that this reading vlog and review is going to be completely spoiler filled, so if you have not read Chain of Gold, if you haven't read The Infernal Devices, or honestly any of the other Shadowhunter books, but especially this one and The Infernal Devices, I'm going to be spoiling those very heavily in this video, so you definitely don't want to stick around if you haven't read those and you don't want to know what happens. But if you have no interest in reading them, or you just don't care about being spoiled, then feel free to go ahead and watch me just absolutely lose my mind for an hour straight, because I don't have any way to describe what this book did to me. You gotta watch it for yourself. So I hope you all enjoy my descent into madness, and without any further ado, let's get into it. It's a fun time. All right, hello. So quick update. I'm like about 20-ish pages into the book so far, so like still not a lot of progress. So far, I'm only really just like learning the characters' names. All we really know is that James Herondale has a connection to the shadow world. They thought that maybe since Will is a shadow hunter and Tessa is a warlock, their kids would have some sort of like strange abilities or something, or may not be able to wear runes, but they can wear runes, they're perfectly fine, like they have that Nephilim blood. But James has a connection to the shadow world, so he can be like pulled into the shadow world, which is fascinating. So that's interesting. That's definitely going to present a lot of problems for sure. Haven't met Cordelia yet. We just had like that early scene with Lucy where she saw like that random boy in the woods. Honestly, I've got to go back and like rewatch my Queen of Air and Darkness review because I remember so little about what happened at the end of that series. And I feel like I'm just gonna be like jumping to conclusions in here and then halfway through remember that that was something that was already explained. It's gonna be interesting, so please bear with me. I'll probably be theorizing a lot of things that have already been answered, but I don't remember a lot, okay? It's a very long series. There's so much to it. I'll update you guys as I continue to read more and let you know once I get to another exciting part in the book, once we learn some more new things, or if I have any other new theories. All right, everyone. Hello. I have changed into comfy clothes that are warm, put my hair up, and I'm ready to keep reading. I've gotten to a point where I'm like, who is who? Because this family tree is the most confusing thing on earth. Everyone is related to everyone in some way because they're shadow hunters. I can't keep track of everyone. So I broke out my trusty family tree that is inside the dust jacket of Clockwork Princess. It's not trusty. Don't trust it. I trust nothing anymore. So I always go back to this whenever I read this series because, yeah, I never remember how everyone is related. But I remembered that since I had this, this tells me who gets married to who from this series too, because this goes all the way to Jace for the Herondale line. So looking at this, we know who marries who. Like at the point I've gotten in the book, Cordelia has like just joined up with the Herondale family. Her family's just come to the London Institute, her and Alistair. And according to this family tree, she does end up marrying James Herondale. And at this point in the book, she's like very much in love with this boy. Like she has a huge crush on him. And I hope it ends up being a good, happy thing because they do get married and they do have kids. They have Owen Herondale. So yeah, so this is like kind of spoilery for this series, but also like I've known this since whenever this book came out in like 2013, I don't even know, a long time ago. So we've known for a long time that these characters are gonna end up with certain people, but I'm excited to see how we get there. I don't know, I just feel like things aren't gonna turn out as expected. Like the relationships aren't gonna be as clean cut as we expect them to be. I'm already hoping for James and Cordelia to be happy because so far she's very much in love with him. And I've only known her for like 10 pages maybe, but I only want good things for her. I will update you as I find out some more about this complicated family tree and as I find out some more interesting things as the book goes on. So I'll see you soon. Promise I'm not gonna update on every single page, but we just had a Will, Tessa, and Jem moment. I'm not okay. I did not expect the first tears to come on page 40 of this like 500-page book, but yeah, they're here. This scene is when Will finds out that his parents died of influenza and he's really sad and he's sitting on the floor against Tessa's legs, and then Jem comes in and just like pulls him into his chest and Will starts crying and I just can't. I absolutely cannot. I am so in love with the three of them and their relationship. These characters are like, honestly, they feel like my friends from my childhood. That's how much I love Will, Jem, and Tessa, and I am not okay. I am not gonna be okay for the rest of this book. This is gonna destroy me. This is the first time we've like actually had Will like in a scene and he's still not even like older Will. This is still a flashback, but oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate it. I'm so sad. All right, so I'm taking a quick break just to update and stuff. Don't mind my headphones, I'm listening to music while I'm reading. But basically things that we have figured out. Cordelia Carstairs is in love with James and just like has been for as long as she's known him basically. James has feelings for someone that we don't know, that I just found out about, but that we didn't know. And Matthew, his parapetide, doesn't approve of her and thinks that like there's something suspicious going on, which so far I trust that boy. So we know he doesn't approve. And then we get to this ball and James asks Cordelia to dance and she's like, oh my God, I'm dancing with him. I'm so happy. He's holding my hand. Like all this stuff is going through her head. And then he just like books it to the entrance of the ballroom door because Tatiana Blackthorne walks through the door with Grace Blackthorne and she's the girl that he's been in love with. So Cordelia's like, a little bit heartbroken. I'm a lot heartbroken. I don't know. I'm just like super suspicious of this, but he's like in love with this girl. I don't know. I'm still here rooting for James and Cordelia to end up together, which like obviously is going to happen in some capacity because they do get married. But I don't know. I'm like feeling a lot of emotions. There was also this whole scene where Cordelia's mother was like dressing her for this ball. Her brother's like, why do girls constantly look at themselves? Because she's like looking in the mirror and like checking herself and like checking to make sure her outfit and everything is fine. And she says like in her head, not actually to him out loud, but she says, because mother gets to choose how I dress and you get to decide how you dress, or something along those lines. And like that just really resonated with me in a lot of ways, because I think that is very true, or something that a lot of girls experience when they're young. Like you don't get a lot of say over how you look. A lot of the time people just decide what you're gonna look like and how you're gonna dress, and her mom really wants her to like look really beautiful and wear like the most expensive things and like designer clothing and all this stuff, despite the fact that even if she likes dressing up and stuff, she doesn't get to choose how she does it and she feels uncomfortable about it. Cordelia Carstairs is honestly already, I'm like not even 100 pages into this book yet, and she is already one of my favorite Cassandra Clare characters in existence. We have like Magnus Bane, Will Herondale, and Cordelia. Like those are my top 3 at the moment. So yeah, just wanted to quickly update you guys on those thoughts. I literally had to get up to charge my camera battery because it died in the middle of me filming, but hold on, we're sitting on the ground for a second. Okay, had to take my hair down and everything. I'm so frustrated. James, boy, hello. He's talking to Grace as he's dancing with her, and he straight up goes, she was light and slim, not nearly as soft and warm as Daisy. Like, pause in his thought, M dash. Daisy. He'd been dancing with Daisy just a few minutes ago. He couldn't remember excusing himself, couldn't remember leaving her. He looked away from Grace for the first time and searched the floor for Cordelia. He found her in moments. She was easy to spot. No one else had hair that color, a deep dark red. She was dancing with Matthew, he saw to his surprise. Matthew's arms were around her. She was smiling. Relief went through him. So he hadn't done her any harm. That was good. He liked Cordelia. They were family friends. Boy! Stop this! He had done no harm to her. This girl is hurt. You hurt her feelings. Hello. Oh my god, I get it. He's infatuated with this girl that he's in love with. He was waiting for her to show up. He dropped everything for her to go and see her in that moment. But boy, to just be like, oh, he didn't harm her. Yes, you did. You hurt her feelings. I haven't had this many emotions about like a romance in a book for a while, because I haven't been reading anything that's been like romance heavy, and there's just something about a good Cassandra Clare romance that gets me like really worked up and really into these relationships. And I am mad at James at the moment. I mean, like, it wasn't that bad. Like, he didn't actually like hurt her, but like, this boy better figure out his feelings. I'm not about to sit here and have him string her along and just like continuously say, yeah, we're just like family friends, when you say things like not nearly as soft or warm as Daisy. He even has his own nickname for her that only he uses. You can't expect me not to ship them. I'm ride or die. Anyway, gonna go back to reading some more of this. Probably hang out in my room now for a little while and read here instead. I haven't made that much progress at all, but it feels like so much has happened, and it also feels like nothing has happened, and I still have so much left. I don't even know how long this book is. 581 pages. I'm not gonna finish this today, but I'm gonna try and get through as much of it as I can. Okay, so that boy that Lucy Herondale saw at the beginning of the book, the very first chapter, was the ghost of Jesse Blackthorn, who's supposed to be dead, but he's a ghost, but also kind of not a ghost, and no one can see him except for his family and Lucy for some reason, which both of them don't understand why. And he says he's not exactly a normal ghost, so he's in between this world and the next. And I'm confused. I am so confused. Because she marries Jesse Blackthorn, so how does she marry a ghost? Do they resurrect him somehow? Or does she become a ghost? I have so many questions. Okay, quick thing. Just saying, before we even move further along, I don't trust Tatiana or Grace Blackthorne. And it's not because James is in love with her or whatever. There is just something super suspicious about Tatiana and Grace. And I have a feeling that both of them were mentioned in the Bane Chronicles, but it's been so long since I've read the Bane Chronicles that I like don't remember. But I feel like I remember something about them in like one of the novellas that I read, but I haven't read all of the novellas, so like don't mind me if I don't have some of this information because I don't really read the novellas very much. She seems very suspicious. Tatiana seems very suspicious. I don't trust either of them, and I feel like a bunch of stuff's gonna come up with that, so I'm just calling it right now. They're both suspicious. They could end up being completely fine, but I don't trust either of them at all. And I feel like I remember something about her with Magnus, both Tatiana and Grace Blackthorne. I remember something about them with Magnus, and Magnus didn't trust them. And if Magnus doesn't trust someone, I don't trust someone, because I trust Magnus with my whole heart and soul. He knows everything that's up all the time, and he's my favorite character in all of this, like, this entire universe. So if Magnus doesn't trust someone, neither do I. Will and Tessa being emo about Jem. Why am I even reading this book? Literally any time Will and Tessa talk and Jem is mentioned, any of those moments in this book, tears. I can't help it. I get so emotional. Okay, many things to update about. I haven't even made that much progress in the book, but I got to the chapter where we have James and Cordelia's backstory about how she helped him through his fever when he was sick when he was young, and how she would like read to him and stuff. That murdered me. That was great. I am ride or die for James and Cordelia. Absolutely 100% into this ship. I am here for it. I have not loved a Cassandra Clare ship this way since Will and Tessa. Like for me, it's literally Will and Tessa and Alec and Magnus. They're like up there. There's nobody else who even like reaches that level except for James and Cordelia now. And we're like, I'm like 100 pages into book 1 and I'm already just like ready to just give my heart and soul to them. I love it. I am here for it. I am dying. It's so good. I have so many feelings about these characters. I love everyone so far. I'm just loving it. I'm loving it so much. Like this is exactly what I was wanting and expecting. Obviously like plot wise, I have no expectations because I don't know what's gonna happen. In terms of the way I was expecting this to make me feel, this is exactly what I wanted and needed, and I'm so happy. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to being emotional about James and Cordelia and see where else this story goes. I'm really intrigued to find out about more of the characters. I'll update some more once I've read a bit more. All right, we have reached peak me not trusting Grace. So we have some more information. She was adopted. So her parents died when she was 9 years old. When they were in Idris, James would go and like visit her at her house. They'd like meet in secret because her mom wouldn't let her see anyone or go out really. And she's basically trying to convince him to steal this, or steal back, I guess, this bracelet that supposedly belonged to her parents, that Tatiana Blackthorne, her adoptive mother, keeps locked away in some box, and she won't let her have this bracelet that supposedly belonged to her biological mother. And now she's asking James to find a way to steal the bracelet back for her, and he's like kind of infatuated with this girl. So of course he's like, yeah, I'll do it. But like, that's sketchy. What is this bracelet? We don't know who her parents are. We don't know what this bracelet is. If Tatiana Blackthorne is locking it away in some box, then it probably has some kind of a power that this girl probably shouldn't have access to. Not that I trust Tatiana Blackthorne either, but like all of this is super sketchy. I need to know. I need to know who she is. I need to know what her deal is. I have so many questions. So far, I feel like my mind has just been all over the place. And I'm like, what if this person is this, or that person's related to this person, or this person's doing that? But like, I need to like chill and just like let the story unfold. But yeah, I'm super, super excited. So I'll update soon. Okay, so many things to update on. It's been a couple of hours. First things first, if you notice that my nails are different, it's because I painted them in between the time that I last updated you and now. So that's why they're not chipped anymore. I did take a little bit of a break from reading and stuff, but I'm currently on page 245. I think the last time I updated you was when I was reading about James's past with Grace, and there was like that conversation about the bracelet, and I was like, that bracelet seems suspicious. And he did end up getting the bracelet, but he's the one who's wearing the bracelet, and I feel like she has some kind of control over him in some weird way, or maybe it's Tatiana who has control over him in some kind of weird way. I don't know who's like the mastermind behind this, but Grace and Tatiana, I've been saying from the beginning, are super suspicious and definitely up to some stuff. And I feel like that bracelet is definitely some factor in here because he's been wearing it all of these years and he's been dealing with all this weird shadow world stuff. So maybe that's like influencing some of his like shadow world abilities. But basically plot-wise, what's happened so far is that Lucy and Cordelia went to the Blackthorn Manor because Lucy wanted to talk to James about the demons that have been like appearing during the day. She still hasn't told anyone about James's existence, but she convinced Cordelia to come with her. Cordelia goes into the greenhouse, gets attacked by a demon. Meanwhile, James is trying to figure out how these demons are coming out during the daytime, so he's like, I'm gonna try and intentionally go into the shadow world or turn myself into a shadow. I'm still like a little iffy on what it is exactly that he's doing, but he can kind of like turn himself into a shadow and enter the shadow world is what I'm understanding. So he does it like intentionally. He ends up being guided to the Blackthorn Manor because he sees some sort of light, which he thinks is the light from Cortana, which is Cordelia's sword that she's been fighting this demon with. Then he ends up there, saves her, and then the two of them have their little moment. But now with all of that aside, he and Grace plan to meet up in private, like in secret, and just talk because like she sends him a letter saying like she's in danger. And so he goes to meet up with her and she's like, yeah, I'm in danger because my mom is going to send me away to Idris. She said it was a mistake for me to come here and she's going to like lock me away for years. And she suggests that the two of them get married in a mundane ceremony, meaning he's going to be stripped of his marks. The both of them would be stripped of their Shadowhunter marks, meaning they could never see their families again. They would never be able to see the shadow world or the down world or anything, and they would have to live as mundanes. And she suggested this and I was like, evil. She is evil. I have been right this whole time. She's absolutely evil. Like I stopped reading. There's probably more on this page, honestly, that'll give me like more answers. But James is just like taken aback from like the last sentence that I read. What? How could she suggest that? Obviously she is evil, controlled by something. Clearly something more is going on here. There's a lot of like emotional, probably some kind of supernatural manipulation going on here, like levels of it. I don't like it. I don't like her, don't like Tatiana. Both of them seem really creepy and really resentful. Either Grace is like being held captive and literally controlled by someone, which if that's the case, please someone free her. But otherwise, she just seems super creepy. So don't know which one it is. I know I keep coming back to this. This is like the main question that I want answered. What is the deal with Grace Blackthorn? That is my main question. Anyway, I'm gonna continue reading and hopefully we'll find out what James does. He's like so in love with Cordelia. Like every other time he mentions Cordelia, he's like basically like, I'm in love with her. Grace even said at some point, you're in love with her. And he was like, what? No, she's my friend. And like, Sure, James. My favorite thing about the Herondales is that they're always in denial, like constantly in denial. Honestly, it's like genetic or something. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to reading now and I will update once again once some more stuff happens. This is just flat out emotional manipulation. She's literally just like, sacrifice everything in your life for me. Give up your entire family, all of your friends, your duty as a shadow hunter, everything that you have ever known, your entire world for me. She's flat out emotionally manipulating him here. This is such an unhealthy relationship. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. James, my precious boy, please see through this. Someone please help him see what's going on. Matthew knows. Matthew's been saying this whole time that he doesn't like her, that he doesn't trust this. We even knew that Matthew knows what's up. Dude, I hate this. Oh, like I'm so sorry. Just like the way she keeps saying things like any man would marry me. Any man would do this if I asked him, but not you. You have to be different. All of this is because you didn't come to Idris this summer. You forgot me. Like blaming him because he's not willing to give up his entire life to just be with her. Oh, I hate it so much. I want Grace gone. I want Grace gone. Oh my God. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Oh, he's like, Grace, I do want to marry you. And she's like, not enough. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. They're about to get attacked by a demon now, but I'm still so mad at Grace. Fuck. Fuck this. Fuck her. And now all of his friends and his sister came to save him. Boy, James, people love you. More people than Grace love you. You don't deserve the pain and emotional shit she's putting you through. You deserve better than this, my precious boy. Oh my god. Look, and your friends are coming to save you now. Like, just choose them. Please choose them. Oh my god. I'm so upset. I'm so sad for James right now. I'm literally so sad. I literally just want to like go into this book and throw Grace out of it. Like, I'm so mad. I hate her. I hate it. I hate this. Was all of this kind of like foreshadowing like emotionally manipulative relationship? Because earlier there was that part where James mentions, he asks Will at some point, he's like, is love supposed to hurt this much? And Will tells him, yeah, it's extremely painful, but love is worth it because it's love, or something along those lines. And I think he's like not understanding that this isn't the type of painful that it's meant to be. So, there's talk of Magnus Bane, and I'm very happy because if he makes an appearance in this, I will cry. Every time Magnus makes an appearance, I cry because I love him with my whole heart. Matthew described him as my personal hero, and then James says, indeed, you once described him as, quote, Oscar Wilde if he had magic powers, which is the best description I've ever heard of Magnus. The number of references to Oscar Wilde that Matthew makes are just, ooh, love it. Here for it. I live for it. And I can't wait for Magnus to show up, so I'm gonna keep reading to find out when that happens. They just mentioned Tadig. If you don't know what that is, I'm at the very beginning of chapter 11, and Cordelia's mom is making food for them. And she says the tadig is cold, and it's italicized because the word is in Farsi. Tadig is essentially like when you cook rice at the bottom of the pan of rice, like you can make a thing called tadig, which is essentially like crispy rice. So you essentially like let the rice get crispy. Sometimes you can put bread at the bottom of it or potatoes or something else, and it gets crispy. It's like the best part of the rice. It's like my favorite Persian food. Tadig is life. It's the best thing ever. And like to have the word tadig, I mean like romanized, but still like the word tadig in a Cassandra Clare book is making me so much more emotional than I ever thought it would. But like, dude, oh, can you imagine if I was like 12 years old reading this when I was like embarrassed to have people come over and like eat Persian food at my house? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, and khosh bamiye. Oh my god, they're talking about so much Persian food in this. Oh, I didn't think this would make me cry. I like can't explain how this is literally the first time I've ever like felt my ethnicity represented in something. Like truly. I'm emotional. I know it seems kind of ridiculous because it's something like so simple. Like they're literally just talking about Persian food. But like when you grow up feeling like you're supposed to hide that part of you, feeling like you can't show that part of yourself to people if they come over to your house, or you can't talk about these things, or you just like can't talk to certain people about this stuff because they just don't experience it or they don't know what it is, and like you can explain it but there's like just a lack of understanding that's there that only other people who share that experience understand. I know I'm literally like tearing up over just a mention of Persian food, but I love this book. And now their mom's calling Alistair June, and like that means like dear. June means like dear. It's like what my parents call me, my grandparents call me. I'm so emotional. I really didn't think this would affect me that much, but like Cordelia being Persian means the fucking world to me. Dude. It's just like, think about going your entire life reading books where the parents of the characters call them like dear or honey or sweetie or whatever. And like, my parents didn't call me that. My parents don't call me that. Like, I have never been called like sweetie or my dear or something by my family. Like, it's just like it's not what I grew up with. So like, I've had to read that my entire life and accept that that's just like normal, because it is for a lot of people. But like, to have a book, not just any book, like a book from one of my favorite series ever, part of a fantasy series, which is one of my favorite ever, to have like the mother of these characters just go up and be like, Alistair June, Cordelia June, like that, oh, it means everything. Yeah. I don't know. I'm too emotional about this. I just have to keep reading. hello? I thought we had Alistair and Thomas becoming a thing. Obviously Thomas has feelings for him, but apparently Charles Fairchild and Alistair are a thing secretly because he's engaged to Adrian. It's not a real like engagement. I don't know. Oh my god, these love triangles though. The most shocking things that have happened in this book so far have been like who's actually into who. Because like at first you think that James is fully gonna be into Cordelia, but then Grace comes out of nowhere and then you're like, oh, Thomas and Alistair are definitely gonna be into each other. And then Charles comes out of nowhere. Anyway, we gotta find out some more, so see you later. I didn't ask for this inner turmoil with Charles and Alistair. I didn't. What is this? What is this? Why am I so emotional? Oh my god, this is gonna be another series that just tears me apart with like the relationships, isn't it? I'm not complaining. That's like what I'm here for in Cassandra Clare books. That was what I was missing. It's here and I'm living for it and also slowly dying. I'm also listening to Sam Smith while I'm reading this, so like that isn't really helping my emotions either. I think that's probably making me feel even more emotional, but it's fine. It's the mood. What? Grace is marrying Charles and she broke up with James, which one, how dare she hurt him? Two, I wanted the satisfaction of him breaking up with her because I can't stand Grace. And now three, Matthew goes to talk to her and she puts her hand on his arm and says, you feel something for me now, don't you? Kiss me, I demand that you do. She's like a siren or something, isn't she? What is she? What is she? I am so confused. She has to be like a siren type of thing, right? That's how she was able to get James to like be so entranced by her, nearly willing to give up his marks, even though he still said no. Like, oh my god, what? 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 I need to finish reading this page, hold on. No. I feel so vindicated, having been suspicious this entire time of her, knowing that she was up to no good. Still have no idea what she is, but she just used her weird compulsive powers, whatever they are, to make Matthew kiss her, and then told him that if he tells anyone, she's gonna tell James and Charles. What? I am so glad that they are broken up. I'm so glad that that is out of the way. I'm not prepared for his heartbreak because he's gonna be so sad because he ended that entire breakup conversation with being like Herondale's only love once. But also it's fine because his first and actual only love was Cordelia. So it's gonna be all fine. Everything is gonna be okay. You will be okay. James, my son, everything is going to be fine. I think Matthew has feelings for Cordelia and I'm gonna lose my mind. I can't. No, we're not having another Jem, Will, and Tessa love triangle. That is not about to happen. I am not about to have that exact same situation happen all over again. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. No. History is not repeating itself. I can't. I refuse. I'm so upset. I don't want this. This is not what I wanted. I love both James and Matthew so much. And I don't want this to be a thing that tears them apart, but we know that she ends up with James anyway, so like, someone's gonna be sad. I just don't want people to be sad. I hate this. I hate it here. I don't want to be here. Oh my god. Hold on. First of all, this is pretty much exactly the same scene that Will and Tessa have when they go to that one party in Clockwork Angel and they're on that balcony and they've both like had some of that weird drink that they weren't supposed to have or whatever it was. This is like the same thing going on, but even better. I cannot believe that happened. I cannot believe that happened. that was everything I wanted. And then of course Matthew had to walk in, and now he's gonna be hurt, and then James is gonna be hurt, and I don't even think Cordelia realizes that he has feelings for her. Just let Cordelia and James be together. Just please, please. Oh, I am losing my mind. Dude.
I know. I've been waiting for so long for you to finally get
Oh my god. I have to stop reading. Like, I got to the end of the chapter. He said, Daisy, my Daisy.
Yeah. I know. I feel like crying just remembering.
Oh my god. Wait, okay, Katie, though, like, I can't.
I know. Growing up just from hearing you talk to it, I can't.
I love how I texted you, like, what was it, like an hour ago, being like, I love Matthew. I love Matthew so much. And like, I still love Matthew, and that's what makes this so much worse.
I know. It's exactly the same.
It is. It's the same as Will, Jem, and Tessa, and I'm so upset.
Yeah, I know. I really didn't think she could do a 30 twice.
Oh my god, me too. I was like, there's no way, because this entire time I keep predicting things. I'm like, okay, well that's already happened, because I was like, oh, they're not gonna do a Parabatai are in love with each other thing again, because they just did that in the Dark Artifices. So I was like, that's not gonna happen. We've already had the two members of a Parabatai are both in love with the same person. We've already had that happen. So she's not gonna do that again. But of course. I literally just want you to tell me how much worse it's gonna get, but I don't.
I know.
What chapter is this? Chapter 15. I'm literally just gonna mark this one off. Thank you very much. So that I can remember that this happened and just come back to it. I really just want to stop. I don't want this. Okay.
The pain that is to come will be delivered in an unexpected way, at least.
What does that mean? I'm gonna read the rest of this. If things are upsetting, I will live in denial for the next year until next March when the next book comes out, and just continuously reread chapter 15, and everything will be fine.
Yes, everything is fine. It's gonna be okay.
Is it though? It's not.
No, but it will. But it won't. But it will.
It won't. Alright, I'm gonna go. I will continue to read. I will text you the updates, and I'll probably call you if I finish it. Okay, some things we've learned. Lucy can basically call up the dead. She has control or power over ghosts somehow. Cordelia's mom is pregnant, which is odd and very random. Also strange because there is no third Carstairs child on that family tree, because it's just Alistair and Cordelia. So this kid isn't gonna be born, or her mom is just lying and she's not actually pregnant. Also, Matthew supposedly murdered someone, and Cordelia found out that her dad wasn't actually sick this entire time, and basically he's just an alcoholic, and her brother and her mom kept it from her because they wanted to protect her. So yeah, we learned quite a few things, but I'm just really baffled at this random revelation that her mom is pregnant. It just feels out of place. I'm suspicious. I am suspicious. That is the moral of this entire video. I am suspicious of everything. Okay, what is happening? So they go to the Silent City, they being James, Matthew, and Cordelia, because they get a letter from Jem, supposedly, saying that he wants to meet with them urgently, and they go there only to find out that Jem didn't send the letter, and some demon, most likely this Prince of Hell, James's grandfather, I guess, is the one controlling all of these people. And then they try and run away, but James is infected with whatever this weird poison, demon poison thing is. And then he, I think, enters the portal to that other dimension that he's connected to, that shadow world, and he just leaves, because as all the people who were possessed were saying this has always been about him, and they were chanting his name and saying this has always been about James, and he goes into this portal, and before he leaves he says, it's about me, it's always been about me, I have no other choice. What does that mean? What is happening? What is happening? I I have so many questions. I have so many questions. I still think that Grace is behind all of this. I have like about 100 pages left. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I had to put the book down. I read one line and immediately just like physical whole body reaction, just no. Just no. James is in his bed recovering from basically nearly dying. Jesse sacrificed his like last breath that he had, basically his chance at life, to save James, which was beautiful, wonderful. We love Jesse. He's waiting for Cordelia to show up because she's still recovering from her broken leg. He gets a knock on his door saying that there's a lady coming to visit him, and he's like, Cordelia? It's not Cordelia. It's Grace. And Grace is absolutely about to kiss him and somehow like use her mind control, whatever powers, to convince him to tell Cordelia that he doesn't love her or something. I don't know, something to break her heart that he's not going to want to do, but he's going to have no choice because either he's going to be like under her influence or she's going to threaten him or something. And it's going to be miserable. And I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I'm not here for it. I'm not here. I can't even read it. I can't even finish reading it. I saw the line, not Cordelia, it's Grace Blackthorne, and I just like, no. No. I know what I signed up for when I started reading this book, so like, I shouldn't be surprised. And I'm like not. I'm just so upset. I don't want to finish this. I can't even finish this scene. I know it's coming. I know I'm 100% right. I know that's exactly what's about to happen. And I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I was right. And I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate this. Why can't they just be happy? Why can't they just be happy? Why can't they just be happy? And of course, Cordelia and Matthew walk in right as she kisses him and leaves. Like, the like pain that I'm feeling right now. He's about to break Cordelia's heart and I can't take this. Like, his heart is broken and he doesn't even know it, but Cordelia's heart's gonna be broken and she's gonna feel all of it. And I'm... Cassie Clare, I love you, but also why? Why can't you just let them be happy? Listen, the way that I need Cordelia to just like take Cortana and cut this bracelet off of James's wrist, please, please do it. I know nobody knows that the bracelet is the thing that is like controlling him or whatever, or part of this, I don't know, possession. But like, someone please, just please, Cordelia, just take Cortana, cut the bracelet off his wrist, and we'll be golden. Everything will be good. Everything will be fine. If that's how like this ultimately ends up happening, like in the second book, third book, whenever we have our happy ending, I hope that that's what happens. I hope she takes Cortana and cuts it off of his wrist. James did not just ask Cordelia to marry him. That did not just happen. I can't even finish reading the rest of this page. That did not just happen. What? The like absolute roller coaster of emotions that I have been on for the past like 2 hours is insane. He asks her to marry him and then she says, but James, you don't love me. And he says, no, I don't. We are done. We are done with this book. I am done with this book. I'm literally about to like chuck this across the room. I don't want to be here anymore. I hate this. I hate this. I did not sign up for these emotions. Except I kind of did, but like I didn't, and I hate it. Oh, why is this so painful? Because of like all the Grace stuff that happens with him like having his whole mask thing on again and just like not being himself and being in this trance essentially, to like him asking her to marry him and then saying, I don't love you though. And Cordelia's poor heart just being completely broken. Oh, I'm just like thinking about the amount of pain James is gonna be in when he comes out of this and realizes like what happened to him and what he's done. Like, he's, oh, I hate it. Listen, when I said at least we know that James and Cordelia get married. This is not what I meant. This is not what I meant. This is not what I asked for. No, thank you. Please just take it all back. Take back the family tree. Take back this whole book. Take it all back. I don't want it. I don't want any of it. I should have stopped after chapter 15 when they had their whole makeout scene. I should have stopped. I should have just stopped reading it. This is not what I wanted. All right, so I have finished the book. I'm gonna give my final thoughts on everything tomorrow when it's not the middle of the night and I'm more coherent and more just not emotionally wrecked. But basically, this book broke me. It just broke me and I am devastated. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow with my actual final thoughts. For now, I'm just gonna go cry myself to sleep because that's all I can do. So I woke up about 30 minutes ago or so, rated the book on Goodreads, cried a little bit more, and now it's time to wrap up my thoughts, I guess. Part of me just wants to read it all over again, and the other part of me literally like wants to like lock it away somewhere and like never touch it again. I'm mad. I'm mad at this book. I'm gonna hold this grudge for a little while. I have a hard time being around her, okay? Like, she hurt me. The thing is, I feel like I went into this expecting it to hurt me. Obviously, it's a Cassandra Clare book. All Cassandra Clare books cause me at least a little bit of pain and angst. It's just inevitable. But I think I was just expecting something lighter, which is probably naive of me because like I shouldn't have done that. That was stupid. Like, I've read enough of her books to know, especially when it's the characters I really care about, you should never expect to be happy. You should never expect them to not be tortured the entire time, because that's what Cassie Clare loves to do to her characters, and boy did she do that in this one. Oh, I'm so upset. The other thing I was doing last night before I went to bed was looking at some of the questions that Cassandra Clare had answered on her Tumblr about the book, because I could finally look at the spoiler ones. And someone asked her a question about that family tree, and she was saying like, don't trust the family tree, it's already betrayed you, something along those lines. And I was like, well, there goes that. Like, I have nothing to go off of at this point. Like, nothing to go off of. I was basing all of my theories on that goddamn family tree. I was like, at least Cordelia and James get married. And when I said that at the beginning of this video, that's not what I meant. This is not what I meant. That's not how I wanted them to get married. And I am so upset. I have never loved a book and yet been so mad at it at the same time. Like, this was great. This was perfect in so many ways. It delivered everything I wanted and everything I didn't want, and I have to respect that. My brain is still all over the place. I thought last night was gonna be like too much for me to start talking about this because I was so overwhelmed, but at this point, like, I woke up feeling like this was a fever dream, and if I hadn't recorded my entire process of every single emotion I went through of reading this book, I wouldn't have believed that I actually read it. Like, it's just not real to me. This was not a real experience. So I guess to just kind of like sum up my thoughts on like the end of the book and everything else that happened that I didn't get to cover, I'll kind of go through character by character because I feel like that's the simplest way to do it. And also that way I can talk about my love for the characters, because I feel like that's one of my biggest takeaways from this, is just how much I love this whole cast of characters. We're gonna start off with Cordelia. James and Cordelia, because I can't separate the two at the moment. I feel like I spent a good majority of this entire video talking about James and Cordelia because, like, I'm sorry, I love them. I adore Cordelia. I adore Cordelia with my entire heart. Cordelia, hands down, is my favorite female character that Cassandra Clare has ever written. Like, I love her. I felt so seen. I felt so represented in a way I have never felt before. Getting to see a character who is Persian, who speaks Farsi, who eats Persian food, whose mother calls her by terms of endearment in Farsi, like, that, I know, like, I talked about this earlier and it seems like kind of small, but like, to me that was not small at all. To me that meant everything, and I just like related so much to Cordelia, not just because of those things. Like, there was so much about her personality that I felt like was so different than a lot of the Cassie Clare characters that we've had in the past, which is one of my favorite things that she does. Like, every time she writes like new main characters, they're always so different from each other. The characters don't feel like carbon copies of like the old main characters. Clary is so different from Emma and is so different from Tessa, who's so different from Cordelia, and I love that. I love them all in their own individual ways, but I love Cordelia, and Cordelia is hands down the one I relate to the most. Her personality, her approach to everything, just her experience in life of being Persian, and I think we'll probably get some more of it, but kind of like feeling a bit disconnected from that part of herself because she's traveled so much around the world and she hasn't really been settled in a place. Just everything about her is perfect. I love her. I love Cordelia Carstairs. I want to be her. I love her. I can't explain how much her character means to me. Like I get teary-eyed every single time I talk about it, every single time I think about it. I love Cordelia. I cannot believe that like I had this, if that makes sense. Like this book feels so personal to me because of that. Obviously the part where she like killed Belial, I was like, she killed Belial, but obviously we know he's a prince of hell. He's not dead. Like the dude's not gonna die. And of course he comes back at the very end and he has this whole plan with Tatiana, which it's gonna take us a year to figure out what that is, or probably more, because she's not gonna tell us in the second book for sure. Her love for James murders me. I was just so absolutely devastated during that proposal scene. Well, first, when she was like, James didn't burn down the Blackthorn Manor because he was in my bed the whole night. I was like, she is a bad bitch. I love her. And then the proposal scene happens and I was like, I can't take this. Like she's so heartbroken. She's so devastated. I'm so heartbroken and devastated. Like this is the most heartbreak I've ever experienced. I just still can't believe she says, but James, you don't love me. And he's like, no, I don't. You don't love me either. And I was just like, what is this? What is this? I didn't ask for this pain. I didn't ask for this pain. And then of course we've got James, who like, you saw the clips of me freaking out about it, but like I can't believe the amount of like suffering this poor boy has had to go through, and he doesn't even like know. That's the worst part of it. He has no idea he's under some kind of spell or he's being controlled or whatever. Like he has no idea that any of this is happening, and he's gonna wake up from this, have that bracelet cut off, whatever ends up happening, he's gonna get out of this because there's no way he doesn't get out of this. They need to be happy, okay? I refuse to not let them be happy. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I will do something to make sure that they are happy. But however it happens, he is gonna come out of it, and then he's just gonna be devastated because he's gonna realize that he broke the heart of the girl that he loves without even knowing that that was happening. Like, oh my god, James Herondale, the Herondales will never stop. The Herondales just won't let me live. Like they will never stop hurting me this way. I have been reading these books since I was 12 years old, and every year since then a Herondale has broken my heart. Like flat out, that just like constantly happens, and I hate them for it, but I love them. Another aspect of this story that I actually really loved, which took me by surprise because I didn't think I would like this so much, was actually like the group dynamic. Like this friend group, this squad, whatever you want to call them, is really incredible. The group is a bit bigger than some of the other ones that we've had in other books. The friendships in this one were different. Like James and Matthew and Thomas and Christopher, like they're already a core group of like good friends who went to the Shadowhunter Academy together, so they have this like established bond. And then of course we have Cordelia and Lucy, who are very close to one another, and then Anna and Alistair, and like this whole group is just so incredible. Like I just loved their dynamic. I loved that it was kind of already an established relationship. Like they all had established relationships that we came into, and it was different than other ones where characters are just being introduced to each other and they don't know anything about each other. I think that made it easier for me to like the characters more quickly too, because I felt like we needed less time to be introduced to them, because when they already have an established relationship, it kind of feels like you are already a part of it and there's no need for like those introductions, and I prefer that sometimes. So that's one thing I really liked about this. The other thing I really loved about this as well was the plot. I felt like it was actually very similar in my opinion to Clockwork Angel. I feel like people complain about Clockwork Angel a lot of the time and say that it's more like simple compared to a lot of the other Mortal Instruments books, but personally I just think that it's not overcomplicated. Honestly, sometimes I think the other Shadowhunter books get a bit too overcomplicated and it can become like crowded. The story feels a little bit crowded for me. Like that's how I felt about the Dark Artifices personally. But with the Infernal Devices, and with this one especially, I felt like there was so much going on. Like there was a lot going on in this story plot-wise, but at the same time it felt very clean And I really, really liked that about it. Like there was so much space for the characters to just be there and be themselves and develop and grow, which I really appreciated because the plot didn't feel like it was overpowering them. The end did get like a bit chaotic, but like what else do we expect from the end of a Cassie Clare book? That like always happens. And it made sense story-wise. But yeah, that's another thing that I think I really, really loved about this. And then of course we've got to talk about Lucy and Jesse because he's still alive, and Belial obviously has some kind of like weird plan for him. Belial and Tatiana, apparently something super important about him. I still don't trust that like last breath or whatever that he gave to James, because there was dark magic that was used to create that, to put James in this like place between like life and death, so he's not fully a ghost but he's also not fully alive. And I feel like there was so much dark magic there that giving that to James wouldn't be necessarily a good thing. I don't think Jesse's bad. I think he's actually not involved in any of this, but I think it's against his will if he is. I just don't trust it because there's definitely some dark magic going on with that. And I feel like that might be a thing that comes back up. I could be completely wrong because who knows what she's gonna end up doing, but I have a feeling that it might be a thing. It might be a thing we need to be worried about. As for the other characters, I am so happy that Magnus Bane made an appearance. The love of my life. I'm so happy he's gonna be in the next book, and I think he's gonna be in the last one as well. I also absolutely adore Anna Lightwood. I love Christopher and Thomas. I even love Alistair at this point. Alistair is one of those characters that like started out kind of like iffy for me. I was super suspicious of him. I was like, I don't trust you. Something feels off. But then he grew on me so much as the book went on, and I can't wait to like learn more about him. I will say the only character I still hate is Grace. I hate Grace. Can't trust her. I have a feeling she's gonna have some kind of a redemption arc. Like we're gonna find something out where it's gonna be like, oh, she was also somehow being controlled, or she really doesn't have a choice. And I'm still so confused about what her actual feelings about James are. Like I don't think she actually loves him, but I don't think she hates him and wants him to suffer. So I'm very confused. I feel like the only person she actually cares about is Jesse, but I don't know. I'm still super suspicious of her, don't trust her, don't like her, still think she might be evil, but we shall see. I have not forgiven her for anything she's done in this book, and I will forever be upset until we find out what's actually going on and we get some answers, because I need answers. I just desperately need answers. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums up most of my thoughts on Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. As for my star rating, I am giving this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I don't think I could give it anything less than that. Based on the sheer amount of different emotions this book made me experience, it deserves 5 stars. The thing I don't understand is that this is the first book in the series. Like this is gonna be a trilogy and this is book 1. Yet this book has series finale energy. Like I would put this on par with Clockwork Princess for the amount of emotional turmoil that it put me through. And if it's only the first book, like where are we gonna go from here? I don't even wanna know. Like I'm too afraid. How is it that the first book made me feel this much pain? And what does that mean for the future books? Like how much are we gonna suffer? I don't want to know. Like I can't read these anymore. I quit. Like I can't read them. I can't read the rest of this series. I refuse. I quit. I'm never reading another book again. Truly though, in all seriousness, I love this book. I absolutely love it. It is hands down one of my favorite Cassandra Clare books. It's God tier if I were to rank them. It's up there with Clockwork Princess and Clockwork Prince and Clockwork Angel for me. I have a feeling that once this series concludes, it could surpass the original Infernal Devices trilogy for me. That might be a stretch. We have to see where it goes. We have to see how much more heartbreak I can take and how much of a happy ending we get, because I have doubts about that happening. But it is absolutely up there. Like this is already my second favorite Cassandra Clare series. I don't want to wait for Chain of Iron, but honestly, I am kind of happy that I have to wait because I haven't forgiven this book and I don't think I will for a while. So I think I'm gonna need that year to just like recover and get over this, and then I'll be okay to read the next one, because I don't think I could take more of this right now. I really don't. But I hope you all enjoyed watching this vlog. I hope you had a good time coming along with me on this journey of just pure emotion and heartbreak and pain. If you have any thoughts on Chain of Gold whatsoever, please leave them in the comments down below. I would love to discuss it with you. I'm gonna take a bit of a break, gonna edit this video. I think by the time that you guys finally see this and this is up, I'll be ready enough to actually talk about it with other people. So yeah, please do let me know any of your thoughts and emotions and feelings that you have about Chain of Gold. If there are any theories or anything that you have, I would love to hear them. I love just talking about theories. I feel like there were a ton of things that were probably hinted at here that just completely went over my head because I was too emotional about everything else that was going on. So yeah, I would love to discuss any theories, any feelings, any emotions with you all, so please do let me know your thoughts. But thank you all so much for watching this video. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. If you would like to follow me on any of my social media, all of my links are in the description box as always. But thank you all so much for watching. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!